Coming up on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, in a few minutes, we're going to talk about how Justin Fields and the Bears offense is starting to really heat up at Bears training camp, and just in time, too, with the preseason opener 2 days away. We'll get to that and some other news and rumors coming out of training camp today. But first, FGB, am I right? We got the merch for you guys. Get your shirt today at chatsports.com/FGB. And you're probably thinking, oh, the Bears don't play the Packers right now. Well, they do in week 2, and that's going to be here before you know it. You want to get your shirt in plenty of time, and you can rep the FGB shirts every game day as far as I'm concerned. chatsports.com/FGB. Get your merch today at the link below. It'll be in the comments and in the description. All right, could the Bears be trading for Chase Claypool? A little bit of a rumor that's been circulating out there on the internet. The Bears are thin at receiver right now with some injuries and really just not a ton of top-flight players after Darnell Mooney anyway at the wide receiver position. Robert Schmitz, who's very popular in Bears Twitter, tweeted this out. I'll just say this one time. If George Pickens, rookie receiver for the Steelers, is the real deal in Pittsburgh, then they've got more receivers than what they know what to do with. Chase Claypool, for all of his flaws, compliments Darnell Mooney. Well, he also may be the odd man out. Wonder if something is there. So what he's talking about is George Pickens, who's been getting rave reviews at Steelers training camp. They also just re-signed Diontae Johnson, have a couple of other pieces. Could the third-year receiver Chase Claypool be attainable via a trade? You look at his first couple of seasons here, pretty consistent in terms of catches and yards, right? Around 60 catches, over 860 yards. Last year, the touchdowns took a major dip. I would argue some of that is because Big Ben fell off a cliff. But he didn't, necessarily take the giant step forward that you would like to see a receiver take in year 2. But certainly 2 solid seasons under his belt as a third-round pick in the same draft class as Darnell Mooney when he was a 5th-round pick out of Tulane. I would love to get Chase Claypool. Now, there's been a couple of minor red flags that I don't like. If you remember that game last year for the Steelers, they were trying to do a 2-minute drill, and after he made a catch for a first down, he spiked the ball when you need to hand the ball to the ref to get it to the center so you can clock it and save time, and he just had no urgency whatsoever. He needs to mature a little bit, but the talent is there. He's a big physical player with good speed as well, and let's just be honest. When Equinemius St. Brown is wide receiver 2 right now, you're thin at receiver, period. And that's not to say St. Brown can't have a good year. Byron Pringle and Velus Jones Jr. can't be good players, but you've got 5 receivers that are injured right now. Pringle, Velus Jones, N'Keal Harry, Dante Pettis, and David Moore. A couple of those are just day-to-day, but still. And even if they were all healthy, you don't have a lot of proven talent at the wide receiver position. You need to bolster that spot. I don't know if Chase Claypool is available, but I saw it circulating the internet, and it made me think if he is available, he is a player I would be intrigued with if the price were right. He was drafted in the 3rd round. I would say he's performed up to that standard. I'd probably trade a 3rd for him. I would at least consider that if I was the Chicago Bears. Should the Bears make a trade for Chase Claypool? Type T for trade, type P for pass. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so get your comments flowing down below. T for trade, or you can type P for pass. Keep our Bears rumors roundup rolling here. We got the latest on Roquan Smith. He was at Halas Hall today. Initial reports were we don't see Roquan, but he showed up a little bit later. He was out there at the practice field. Obviously, he did not practice as the hold-in continues. The latest as well is that the Bears are allowed to find him now that they have taken him off the physically unable to perform list. And Matt Eberflus said after practice, all healthy players are expected to practice. That's the standard around here. And now Roquan is in the healthy category after passing a physical. Here's more from the head ball coach. He was cleared by our medical staff as healthy, and he did not practice. The reason for that, you'll have to ask him. We expect all of our players, healthy players, to practice, and that was his decision. You'll have to ask him. Now, here's the problem, and I don't think Matt Eberflus did this intentionally, but reporters shot back and were like, you say you'll have to ask him, but players that don't practice aren't made available to the media, so we can't ask him type thing. And he was like, yeah, I understand that. And it's like, well, I get that you understand it, but do you understand the problem here that we're only hearing Roquan's side of it via his statement and through, potential reporters. We'll get to that in a second. And Ryan Poles with what he said. we haven't heard from Roquan directly. It'd be nice to make him available to the media and let him talk, but he's not available until he practices. I'm sure if he went to the organization and was like, hey, can I talk to the media, they would let him, but that has not been the case so far. So that's a bit frustrating as we try to figure out just what the hell is going on. More on Roquan Smith in a moment. Now, he's not going to play in the preseason opener, but several Bears players will, as we've got the opener on Saturday. Bears versus Chiefs live watch party. We're going to have a blast. Watch party season is here, and I cannot wait. We'll be live 15 minutes before kickoff, 12:45 Eastern, 11:45 Central Time. Kickoff at noon Central at Soldier Field. Should be a blast. Subscribe. Join us. We publish daily videos, and the watch parties are back. Turn on those notifications. That way you know exactly when we go live. We're going to be drinking beers and taking shots as well. All right, Ian Rapoport hopped on the Pat McAfee Show today and provided, I guess, a bit of an update around Roquan as well. He said this: they could make him the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, which my understanding is their offer is, is there. But it's not real. It's not a real highest paid offer. It's like way backloaded. So, like last year the last year has a high number and it makes the average high, but it's not real. There's a couple things they've asked him to do in the deal that he does not want to do. Now, here's the problem. And Ian Rapoport obviously is a very legitimate NFL reporter, but he's kind of been Roquan's spokesperson through this process. Everything he's reported from has been from Roquan's camp, whether it's from Roquan directly or someone in his camp. He doesn't have an agent, so it's not through an agent. But here's what I think is the deal, because Ryan Poles came out and says there's record-setting pieces in the offer, and we think it's a fair offer. Do I think the contract is likely more backloaded? Yes. Most contracts are. The question is how much. The problem is we don't know what's fully accurate and what's fully true. I'm guessing what Roquan is telling Rap and what Rap is reporting is fairly true, that the average is to make him the highest paid, but it is a little bit backloaded, and the Bears can probably get out of the contract if he does not perform after, say, year 3 on a 5-year deal. That's kind of standard, guys. That's how a lot of these contract offers go. Now, maybe the Bears are taking it to an extreme level and they're protecting themselves because it's a new regime. They haven't seen him play in this defense. That's possible. But if the average over the 4 or 5 year contract is $20+ million per year, that's a pretty decent deal unless the first 3 years are like less than $10 million or something like that, and they can just completely get out of it and the guarantees are very low. Again, this is why we need more information, but clearly the two sides are still far apart. There doesn't sound like there's real progress there. I wonder if the Bears are going to start fining him since they can now that he's off the PUP list. We'll have to wait and see as things progress. Now, pick a side based on the information we know. You got to pick a side these days. You guys know how it goes. Type RS for Roquan Smith. Type RP for Ryan Poles and the Bears, if you will. Let us know in the comments what side you are on when it comes to these Roquan Smith contract negotiations. All right, let's get to Fields and the offense. We teased it earlier. Offense, another strong practice today. Some would say maybe the strongest yet during Bears training camp. This is starting to trend in a good direction for a couple of reasons. One, you want to be improving throughout camp, not going the other direction. Definitely been improving. Now, we don't know how much exactly. It is practice, but the first week and a half, very up and down. Sure, it's still up and down a little bit, and the defense overall has definitely been the better unit, but Fields and the offense have held their own and done a much better job, especially this week at camp. Zach Pearson tweeted out, much better day for the Bears offense. They were sharp throughout the practice, led by Justin Fields. Probably the best day for them out here. That is what you want to see. You want to see this trending up as the preseason games quickly approach. For Chicago, it's trending in that direction as the opener is on Saturday against Kansas City, like we previously mentioned. So I feel pretty good about that. Kevin Fishman of The Athletic, who's known for being pretty damn blunt, quite frankly, he says, that's it for Bears practice. Play of the day was a Justin Fields touchdown throw to Tajay Sharp. Sharp had a good day today. Fields was rolling to his left, and Sharp toe tapped to stay in bounds in the back corner of the end zone. And I think the point I want to outline here is that he's getting it done with guys that aren't necessarily even going to make the team. Now, Tajay Sharp might make the team. I'd say he's on the roster bubble, but like guys like Isaiah Coulter, Kevin Shaw getting reps. I mean, all these players are outside of Darnell Mooney, basically, and the offense is still improving. That's really, really good. Now, ideally, Fields in the offense look sharp against Kansas City this weekend. However many drives they get, Eberflus did allude to how much he expects his starters to play. We'll get to that in just a moment, but you hope this positive direction and momentum carries over to Saturday against an opposing defense, and you put a good drive or two together. That would be ideal for Justin Fields. Now, as far as how much they're going to play, Adam Johns tweeted this out. Matt Eberflus said the starters will play 15 to 20 plays against the Chiefs, but playing time will vary by player. Got to think Fields is going to be on the higher end of that. David Montgomery, Colt Kmet are not expected to play since they are day-to-day with undisclosed injuries. They have missed the past couple of practices, so they're dinged up. Does sound like it's not serious. They should be back soon, but not expected to play on Saturday. So that's 2 starters on offense that you're for sure going to be down. And if you consider Byron Pringle a starter, he's going to be out as well. Now, the 15 to 20 plays, that 2 to 4 drives, I think, is what that means, right? Depends on the drives. If you go 3 and out the first drive, well, you're still 12 plays away from 15 to 20. If you have a 8-play drive, you may only get 1 or 2 more. Could depend on the flow of the game. I would say a minimum of 2 drives, probably a maximum of 4 drives. 3 drives feels about the sweet spot for Fields and the starters and, the rest of the team too in terms of that starters category. How many drives do you think Fields should play on Saturday? I think it could depend. If you score a touchdown on the first drive, maybe you give him 1 more, and regardless of that second drive, you just say, hey, we'll take that. We started fast. We'll go ahead and call it a day. Could kind of have that approach if you're Matt Eberflus. But what do you guys think? How many drives would you like to see Fields and the starters get? All right, appreciate you guys for sticking with us today. A couple of videos once again today for you guys as we continue to bring you the latest Chicago Bears news and rumors. You made it to the end of the video, which means, hey, you're a real one. Comment FGB below. We told you about the merch earlier, chatsports.com/FGB. If you're a real one, pick one up. If you're a real one as well, just get the comments flowing with F Green Bay. We'll see you soon here on the channel.